Welcome back to another episode of the Dutchy and Swoop Show. Dutch.
I'm just scrolling, mate. I'm just scrolling.
Getting the news going.
Oh, just looking back over the Richmond game and sussing out a few little things before we have a chat, mate. It was one of those games I sort of tuned in and out. You always felt like we were going to win, didn't you?
Yeah.
Really. But, Richmond weren't too bad, were
No,
they?
they played, and I gave them a lot of credit. They played really, really well. Boston had 17 intercept possessions. I think that's the most.
He's a star.
For a long time.
He's a player you don't talk about much.
And I think he's
we as Collingwood supporters don't. But
sneaky All-Australian, I'm hearing as well.
Yeah, mate. He's a star. He's skillful. He can intercept, and he's tough as well.
But, the Pies did what they needed to do after two shitty losses. They come back. They beat the Tigers by, 36 points.
Goals,
and it looked like they didn't get out of second gear. Probably not even first gear for the most part. But when you have Nick Dacos 42 and 3...
It's a bloody luxury, isn't it? If you take him out of the team, does it mean that game's closer or potentially?
Probably. Because who's popping up for... especially as a midfielder, we don't have...
3 goals in 42 possessions. That doesn't happen every weekend.
No, well, he's on par with Lee Matthews Lee Matthews did it twice in his career, 40 and 3.
Yeah.
Gary Ablett Jr. has done it 3 times in his career.
Yeah.
So he's with some greats, and people will say, it's just against Richmond.
He only had 4 clearances for the game, 8 inside 50s.
He's playing off that half-back role.
Yeah,
now.
That's right. Yeah, he's playing a bit half-back and in the middle a little bit as well, but... Jeez, you're doing pretty well to kick 3 goals off half-back.
another 3 votes in the Brownlow, you would think.
You would think so. How's he going to fare in the Brownlow? Because everyone's saying, he's he's a certainty again all of a sudden. But he has been up and down at various stages. Yep. When I say up and down, I'm previous couple of years, he was 4 out of every 5 games he was BOG pretty much.
Yeah.
This year there's 1 or 2 or 3 players ahead of him potentially.
Yep.
For those votes, but the umpires do like him, don't they? And he still has enough standout games to get enough 3 votes too, doesn't he? What do you think?
Well, you think I feel like they're going to overcorrect themselves a little bit, the umpires. You've seen it over the last couple of years where it was Lachie Neale got too many votes in games where he didn't. Then the next year, he barely got any votes, even though he had a good year.
Right. It balances itself out over time, doesn't it?
I think we're going to see him steal 1 or 2 votes in games where probably he shouldn't. Or,
maybe.
He should. But
the only thing is side bottoms played well early. With the shiny bald head, he picks up some votes. And he came second one year, didn't he?
Yeah, in 2018 to Tom Mitchell.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. And then obviously his brother had some standout games too, Josh. So he'd take some votes off for sure. And Cameron, in my day, I remember Ruckman used to get votes a lot.
Yeah.
Even before I started playing, Scott Wine won a Brownlow. Yeah. And Jimmy Steins as well.
Well, Peter Moore won a couple.
That's right. They just don't get votes anymore, do they? But Darcy Cameron actually marks the ball a lot more than most around the ground. But even still, Gawn hasn't really voted that well in Brownlows, has he?
Yeah, well, well, we know it's a midfielder's medal, right?
Midfielder's medal.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, when someone like a Jeremy Cameron kicks 11 goals in a game, you'd like to think he gets 3 votes. Yeah. In that one. But when he kicks a 4, 5s and 6s and gets 20 possessions and takes 7 or 8 marks,
incredible. He's not getting any votes.
3 votes. Yeah. But it's not happening.
Well, that's the umpiring department, right? That's what they do. But it's the real stuff now. So that was it reminds me of 2023 where we lost back-to-back games, Carlton, Hawthorn, and the next week after that, pretty sure we came out and beat Geelong just to get that sort of monkey off our back. Yeah. I think that's what the Richmond game did. It was bruise-free football as well. Yep. The boys just didn't want to get in, which is fair enough because now...
Richmond kind of play that well. They've got some hard players on the inside, but they're a run-and-gun type of brand. They flick it around, they're quick and very skillful. You can see they're going to be a decent side as they get along. But, you're right, though. It felt like we thought we've got it in control and we're just going to play it out. We're not going to over-exert ourselves. We're at sort of 85% rat power for the whole way through and just got it done.
And now, we go up against 3 teams that are vying for a top 4 spot. Brisbane, Hawthorn and Adelaide. And it all starts with Brisbane at the MCG on Saturday night. And that game is going to be, especially after what happened to Brisbane last week against Gold Coast, they got absolutely bullied by their younger brothers.
Yeah, it was going to be on for young and old given what happened on the weekend. given their history of the two teams as well. I'm going along again. It's 2 weeks in a row. That's big for me. I don't usually get to too many games, so I'm excited to head along to that one. Sitting amongst the Collingwood faithful in the cheer squad.
In the cheer squad. There you go. So if you see Brody there, give him one of the bongos
I'll just say a shout out to Nikita too. She's sent me some tickets as well, so I don't have to sit with the past players upstairs. I can sit with the real supporters and barrack away. That's going to be sensational. And it's anyone's game. Obviously, this one, isn't it? What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I think. Look, I think if we know the Pies, we know that it's going to be hard contested in and under football. This is the game where we know it's going to be finals like. So it'll be a good test for can Ned Long and Tom Mitchell be in the same team come finals. These next 3 weeks are going to tell us a lot about the makeup of our team.
Definitely.
We've got a bunch of guys coming in this week. So Frampton, Hill, Pendle's come in this week. Jeremy Howe misses out 1 week. We'll cross to us at training. So we are doing something a bit special. We're at Collingwood training at the moment. It's Wednesday. Everyone's fully training. What have you seen, mate?
Well, I've just seen Jeremy Howe wearing the number 6 again. That's my jumper, not yours. But they're looking pretty sharp, actually. Wednesday main session. Looking pretty sharp. Looks like they're obviously doing a bit of competitive work out here. Lots to like. There's some interesting faces out there. A couple of boys, our high-end boys from the VFL last week, DeGoey, Frampton,
they all look fresh.
All training well out there, which is really exciting.
They all look pretty fresh, and the boys look fit. The only thing is, Darcy Moore's not currently out there, so we're recording this on a Wednesday. Obviously, it gets released on a Thursday, so we're not too sure what's going on. But like you mentioned, Jordan DeGoey, he's training with the mids, and he is looking sharp.
He's looking good. He's looking powerful. Looks like he's got his strength back in his hips and his legs, which is the main thing, covering ground, like we saw in the VFL last week. Didn't have a truckload of it, but did enough. Will they bring him back this early?
That's the question, isn't it?
What are your thoughts?
I think it's just 1 more week. He's out since that Geelong game, out for 3 months or so. 1 more week, but someone that they will bring in straight away is Bobby Hill.
You would think so. He kicked 3 on the weekend. He looked really sharp. Looked like he hasn't missed a beat. You wouldn't know that he had missed 5 weeks of footy.
No.
He looks like he's just left off where he was 5-6 weeks ago.
And what do you think as a coach? Looking at all these training drills, I know you want to pinch a couple. So
I've already pinched a couple already, actually. There's some good little drills in here just to keep the boys sharp. A lot of stuff that we're seeing is working in close, sharp hands, quick disposal. One thing Collingwood would like to do, as you know, when they're not sure, when they can't, if they're going to grab the ball and get tackled, they don't want to kill the game. They want to keep moving on. They tap the ball on. They keep it moving. They keep it live, and they're quick and sharp on the outside. And as you see on the weekend, they outplayed Richmond on the weekend with their uncontested ball on the outside and their loose ball gets. Something they do really well. So you can see it's really evident in training is tap that ball on. Even if the ball sits up in the air,
they love
nice
to just
high, they just
palm it down.
They tap it forward, and everyone knows what's coming next. And they know to get on the move and get forward and get used.
1,000%. And when we were just here, there was the defenders training. McStay was there. He chopped down against Richmond as a defender for a little bit while Moore was having a rest or whoever it was. With the prospect that Billy Frampton comes in, they might chuck McStay down there maybe for a little bit of reassurance against these big Lions forwards.
Yeah, possibly. I think they'll just have that up their sleeve as a little bit of a... use him as a bit of a swingman from here on in, I would have thought. They don't want to go in too top-heavy up forward as well. It depends on who plays, whether Cox plays or whatever. And obviously, if he's not in the team, which is likely, then they can still go 3 or 4 tools if they wanted to. But, one of our strengths so far this year is our tackle pressure inside 50.
It is, and
our quick-moving half-forwards, small half-forwards. So we probably don't want to tinker that too much. So we want to make sure that if we're going to play a McStay type and a Membry type and a Mycheck type in the same forward line, that we get enough game time out of these elite forwards. So maybe that's something they just keep tinkering with.
Yeah, and Craig McRae loves a chameleon sort of anyone can can play a different role when we sort of need to. But that's our quick training report. Back to you guys in the studio. Darcy Moore didn't train, but it looks like he's okay. Just copped a knock, and he'll play. So over the next 3 weeks, we're going to know a lot about Collingwood, where they sit, and what the team's makeup looks like going into finals.
Yeah, and it's sort of intriguing what they do with Nick Dacos, whether or not they sit on him. I've got a feeling Berry might go to him from the start and just see if he can smother him. Whether they do that if he's at half-back or just whether or not he's in the middle. But he's probably off a game like last week. If you can keep him down to 25 touches and a goal, you're doing a good job.
You pretty much won that,
you might be a chance to win the game based on what we saw last week. But even Lockie Neal too. Lockie's always one of those players that seems to get hold of us for a half and gets them going. So whether or not we play our normal game, do we start to shut him down? I think they'll probably back themselves in, given all things, given we're on top, given we've got the buffer.
That's the thing, yeah.
And, we've got to set ourselves for finals. But it certainly will be interesting. I think they'll come really hard, the Lions. I reckon they'll play with some serious hardness and desperation. Yep. It'll be as hot as hot. I don't think they'll be thinking anything past the first 5 or 10 minutes of the game.
Yeah,
and just really try and plant the seed of doubt in Collingwood's mind by just going as hard and physical as possible. And try and make the ground small and try and make it like a Gabba-like atmosphere.
That's what they need to do,
and bring the game in. A little bit like Fremantle did. I thought Fremantle were really good at it. Stoppage after stoppage. I think that's what Brisbane will do. They'll want a stoppage game. They'll condense numbers, make the ground small, and see if they can make it a 10-goal to 10-goal type game, not a blowout. Because if Collingwood get their running game going in the space of the MCG, that is where they could, run away with the game. Yeah,
and it's funny that you bring up Fremantle as well. Like if Brisbane, because we know like Brisbane's big guys with no Danaher, thank God. They've got Hipwood and Morris and Logan Morris in there. But it's the Rayners, the Camerons, the Archies, those small medium type forwards that you have to look out for. And it's reminiscent of like, Patrick Voss kicking 6 goals. If they can get it direct to their players, instead of sort of chipping it around like we'd like opposition to do. Brisbane scored most of their points off turnovers the last 8 weeks. So they're a big. Yeah,
it's interesting. They rate themselves as a stoppage team, and they're happy to take stoppage, but they're still getting most of their scores from turnover. But I think the matchups will suit Collingwood though.
We match up pretty well with them.
Hipwood, you probably bring Frampton in potentially for that. And then the other guys are just more sort of, you're sort of marking medium types or smalls after that. And that will suit whether or not they bring back in Howie. He's probably a good one for Morris, or whether or not Dean stays in and plays that role. I mean, Dean was great last week. He'd be stiff if he gets dropped.
I thought Dean did really well. I think with Frampton coming in, I think they will persist with Dean, Moore and Frampton just to get us those 3 and let Moore play his intercept defending role, because we know Moore can't just do one.
So you think that Dean will go to Morris potentially? Do you think that's the way they'll say?
I think that'll be a good matchup.
He's a touch dynamic maybe at ground level
Frampton,
for Dean.
You would think it'd probably be Frampton on Hipwood, and then something crazy like Darcy Moore and bloody Rayner or something, like, because we know Darcy doesn't like playing on the big
he'll
guys.
Go to one of those mediums. There's no question about that. So that'll be interesting. A bit of a game of cat and mouse between Fags and Fly.
And it could be the preview for the first final as well.
Yeah, definitely.
A qualifying final.
It's looking that way if we win. It's looking like maybe they might finish around that 4th mark as well. So, preview, sneak preview of a qualifying final.
It's retro round as well. So we got the retro jersey out. Brisbane are going to wear their Fitzroy jersey. There is something that I wanted to bring up with you though.
Yes.
Collingwood posted on their Instagram a couple of retro photos.
Oh yeah.
And this one popped up.
I'm glad it was this one and not some of the other ones that floated around.
What boy band was that?
Yeah, I know. Oh, geez, we look cute, didn't we? The little berets and the little collar on and tucked into the jeans and baggy jeans. And I think I had the same shoes I got on now. Actually, they've finally come back in fashion again. Actually, I don't even know if they were in fashion at the time. I don't know what we were promoting, to be honest. The club were obviously getting a cut out of something and we got nothing, as per usual. But some fashion label or something we were promoting. We did a lot of those fun stuff, and the boys pretended they didn't like doing them, and they always
I think Liquor was a part of that photo.
Liquor was in there. Yeah. Shane Wakeland, Loney, Didak.
Yep.
Always had a bit of a laugh.
Were you a part of the Garnier Fructus ad or whatever it was?
No, I didn't do that one. I was shattered. I didn't get a call up for that one. I thought I was absolute shoo-in when the days I wasn't so grey. Yeah, that was Wakes and his terrible acting, if you remember. Yeah. You know,
I think Tarrant was in that one as well.
Tarrant was in it, yeah. Yeah, I can't remember who else, but it was might have been Didak in that one too. But we did a few things. There was one that we did with a cheese company at one stage. Okay. Daisy was in that one as well, I think. A couple of us, but there was some really corny stuff that we did. Yeah.
Well, you don't see.
I did a lot of corny stuff.
Well, you don't see a lot of players. Well, you don't see them now doing anything. Nah. Now it's beers or aftershave or all this sort of stuff. Cool.
Well, they would just be trying to narrow the focus to footy now, and because there's so much going on. I'm thinking back. Geez, if I had social media back then,
true,
we would have I probably would have made 10 times more money off field than on.
Yeah.
I didn't make much on anyway, to be honest. But maybe the club are just trying to narrow the focus and say you can and can't do this. There must be some limitations and restrictions in and around what they can and can't do off field, I'm sure, because you would see stuff rolling out everywhere. Otherwise, there's so many opportunities to make money through advertising on social media. So no doubt the clubs have got some tighten the ropes and I'd like to see a little bit more from the boys, a little bit of flamboyancy and fun, but everyone's a little bit robotic these days, unfortunately.
Hey, one thing I wanted to talk about, and we're going to keep this episode pretty short, but one thing I want to pick your brain on is the revelation of JSOS. So Jack Silvagni, Pies are after him. I don't know if you heard the presser today from Craig McRae. Craig McRae came out and said, I've talked to him. I've had a meeting with Silvagni. It went well, and I want to go on a second date with him. Wow.
So that was his exact words.
That was his exact words. I want to go on a second. The first date went well. I want to go on a second date.
Man, if you're sitting there and you're Jack Silvagni, you'd be going, mate, I love this guy already. Yeah. He's probably had a positive meeting. He's hearing him talk about him. If it was me, I'm not sure if I'd be that happy with a coach, opposition coach, talking about me when I've got to walk into the locker amongst all the boys. That just tells me that he's out and he's gone.
Has to,
and he's probably told his mates even at the club that he's going to leave.
Yeah,
because. Fly would have said, what's acceptable, what can I say, what can't I say? I just don't want to make you uncomfortable, and the club doesn't want to make you feel uncomfortable. So I'm sure they would have had that conversation, and he would have said, within reason, do what you feel's right.
Because he was always going to get asked Fly about it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and Fly isn't one of those guys that would just say something without asking. No. Yeah, Silvagni, you're 100% right. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
But what do you think of the Silvagni name? Generational.
I like this because as much as I hate to say it, I was a Carlton supporter growing up.
Yep.
And Silvagni was actually one of my favourite players.
Yeah.
To have a Silvagni, that's got a nice ring to it, I reckon. Can you imagine the Carlton faithful, if they didn't already hate us. Imagine he comes across, absolutely dominates across half back, and wins a flag.
Oh my God. Sure, right. A bit of how's it going? I think there was talks, and we talked about it before the Carlton Collingwood game about the rivalry, being a little bit here and there at the moment.
Yep.
This is a whole new thing. This will fire everyone. Maybe not Collingwood because we're we're probably coming off a flag next year. You know what I mean?
So that's right.
It'll fire up Carlton fans, and they might lose Curnow and Mackay and all these players.
Yeah, well, they've got De Koning as well. They might be moving, and I think they'll probably hold most of everyone else, but they probably need to lose a couple to gain a couple of draft picks and get some young speed into the mix, I would have thought, and balance out the figures. So, but enough about Carlton.
No.
But look, he'd be a great pickup with Jeremy Howe sort of coming to the end. He's an interceptor. He can play, tall, small, medium as well. So he's a perfect replacement for him. I'm not sure if Howe is going next year. Is he signed up for next year? No, so
he's been offered a 1-year contract that he hasn't signed yet.
Right.
But I think that if we win the flag this year, those guys like Howe, Will Hoskin Elliott, maybe even Sidey, say, you know what, this is 2 flags in 3 years. Yeah. I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah, that's right. It'll be interesting to see. Or you go, geez, 3 in
could go back to
4 years would be handy. Let's go one more. So that's usually the mindset, isn't it, when you win a flag? So it'll be interesting to see, because there are a lot of guys. And we know we keep talking about the age, and because we're going so well, no one's talking about it anymore.
Go figure.
But it will become, or could well become, an issue at some stage. You don't really care too much if you've got a couple of flags under your belt if it happens.
Yeah.
But you still got to find a way to get them out at the right time, get some kids in at the right time, and not do it too quickly. But you don't want to do it too slowly either, because it can come back to bite you.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting few weeks, because there was that Cameron news that we were talking about off air a little bit, where he can potentially go to West Coast for a trade because Collingwood aren't upping their offer. So it's going to be a big off season. What are your?
I get the feeling, unless you offload a couple of big guns that are aging, that maybe you can't hold Cameron. Like, they might be able to match an offer, a big offer. If you offload, or you do a deal, say for Pendlebury, you get him on base payment for one, for another year. He's already signed another deal. Is that right?
No, I still think he's got an extension in front of him.
Yeah, it's in front of him though, isn't it? And it makes me wonder, maybe these guys aren't signing it because they're low offers at the moment.
I think that's one of the reasons. Yeah.
But as one of those guys, like a Howie, especially Pendlebury, he's done so much, and you want to continue to reward him. But he's made his money. He's going to continue to make money after footy.
Yeah.
I'm sure he wants to give back to the footy club. He's a great bloke, as we know. He wants to give back to the footy club, and I'm sure he'll probably sign a lesser amount. And he's be on the veterans list as well. Exactly. So half of what he earns goes outside the cap. I think it's 50% still. So that's an interesting one. But it'd be great to have 3 or 4 of those veterans that go, hang on. Let's keep Darcy Cameron. I'm taking a hit. I'm taking a hit. Let's keep him at the club.
Model.
Yeah, that's right. Model. Yeah. And I'm sure Cameron doesn't want a crazy amount, but when you're asking, when West Coast are coming with, what sort of offers are they?
Oh, well, it'd be upwards of probably. Yeah, I know Collingwood.
You should know these things. You know everything.
I'm the worst, mate. I know. At the moment, he's only on 650-ish.
Yeah,
and I think he's asking for close to 850, 900. Yeah, so you think West Coast will be a bit over that? He is from Western Australia though. So.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's 1.2 plus by the time we get to that. I don't know what's in front of him. That might go. I don't know if the offer can go up. Based on him saying, I'm not sure, I don't know, maybe not. And then they
jack
up
it
the ante.
A little bit,
because I reckon it'll end up 1-2 to 1-4 by the time we get to the end.
Yeah, it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be a big off-season, big finals coming up. We've got a couple of things lined up that are going to be absolutely incredible. So keep your eye out on our social media channels, on the podcast as well. But before we go, what's your prediction for Saturday's game?
I think it'll be a great game. They're always, generally speaking, I know we got them pretty well last time around, but they'll be ready for us. They'll have a specific plan.
Yeah.
Maybe they were planning a little bit too early based on last week's game.
Yep.
But they're coming to Melbourne, the home of footy, against the biggest club in the land. They are going to come. Watch, this is going to be one of the best first quarters we've seen all season. They're going to be cracking in like there's no tomorrow. And these guys are going to be out on their feet by the 10-minute mark of the first quarter. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Yep.
And I think Collingwood will get it done. I'm tipping by a couple of goals.
Yep.
I think we might just run away with it late. I think they'll try and close the game down for as long as possible, but just through weight of numbers and the open space of the MCG, we might just be able to get them with that uncontested ball and loose ball get scenario as the game progresses.
Yeah, I've got us by 10 points. I think it's going to be hard hitting. This is finals football now.
I'll go 11 points then.
Done.
All
Perfect.
Right. All right.
Perfect. We'll do a coffee bet on that one. But yeah, this is finals like footy. I can't wait. Dutch, thank you so much, mate. Appreciate it.
Thanks again, champion.
Let's do it. Go Pies.
Go Pies.
Perfect.
Awesome.
That was a good one.